What's going on, everyone? ODC, really quick. Just wanted to tell you, yes, I know I had some issues with the enunciation of some of the names in the review, so I wanted to go ahead and apologize ahead of time, and I hope you guys can still enjoy the review regardless. What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at two Star Wars Black Series action figures. We're going to take a look at Galen Erso on the left, and then we've got General Antoc Merrick on the right. These two figures are Target exclusives, whether you pre-order them on the Target website or you're going to wait for them to drop in store. But these are starting to become available. I actually got mine a little bit earlier because I purchased them through staractionfigures.com. And yeah, pretty nice packaging here. We've got the kind of like lighter, like almost cyan colored here, right, for the packaging here. Looks pretty cool. Here's the side artwork, and they do line up with each other, so if you did want to have these in display with the packaging, the arm lines up, and there you go. You can continue your portrait of the Rogue One cast. For me, these are going in the recycling bin, to me, where they belong. I don't keep packaging around. If I'm going to have the figure in the packaging, I'll just buy another figure with the packaging in there. Here's the back to the package. It's got a little read up. I'm not going to go through it too much because it's not really anything to even talk about. It's just the most basic way of explaining who these people are. Here's the side of the packaging, here's the front of the packaging, and that's pretty much the packaging. And moving on. Okay, and we're back with both figures out of packaging. And for the most part, this is very simple releases as far as these both these action figures go. There's nothing too crazy about them. Antoc Merrick is pretty much on the the X-Wing Luke body. He's on that smaller body, which I actually think in reality he would be a little bit taller, about around here, maybe around Galen Merrick's height, but I don't know. They just don't like remolding this body, and they love reusing this body. So, so there you go. I don't know what else to tell you. They're probably not just going to keep using this X-Wing Luke body, even though Luke is a lot shorter than most of other cast members. But anyway, he comes with a looks to be like a DL-44, similar to, it's like a variation of Han's blaster. Then he comes with his helmet, and that's pretty much it for Antoc Merrick. For Galen Erso, he pretty much just comes with the Death Star stolen data plans, which are right here. There's not a lot to really discuss with the accessories. They can hold their accessories, as you can see here. The one thing I do want to bring up about Antoc Merrick is that the helmet is excessively tight on his head. It's really like this helmet was not made for this head at all. The chin strap is really being stretched once you get the chin strap over his head. The face sculpt is almost too, or the head sculpt, excuse me, not the face sculpt. The head sculpt is almost too big for the helmet, and trying to get even his helmet off, as you can see here, I'm trying to just kind of get that over his head. You kind of have to just tilt it forward like that. It's a little tight on the head. So that's unfortunate. It will fit on his head, but because I think of the height of his hair sculpt, it sits up high, and then you have to really pull down on this chin strap to get it around his chin. So I doubt I'm going to have him displayed with this helmet on. On top of that, we don't even have a Black Series X-Wing yet, which I say yet because I still believe that we could get one from the Hasbro. I hope we do. I'd like to get a couple of those, even if we just get Luke's X-Wing and I can paint it and give it a variation. That would be great. But until we get one, we've got a bunch of pilots, but nothing for them to really pilot at this stage. With Galen, like I said, he's just pretty much on this, I think it's a newer body. It might be some reuses here and there, but the neck piece is all new because this is all a separate piece right here up top. It's a separate articulated piece, so you can see that whole collared piece moving. Pretty good range of motion. I want to say both head sculpts, I want to say between both of them, he's a little bit more on the shinier level than Antoc Merrick. I want to say Merrick probably has the better face sculpt of the two. I think Merrick's eye is a little bit pinched in, but it could be worse, I think. But he's definitely a little bit on the shinier stage. So, but if you do end up having a can of this, you can give that a good little spray job. Make sure that you do remove the head with that. And that'll actually remove and give a little bit more of a matte finish. Take all that shine out of that head sculpt. So that's kind of a quick little thing you can do there. I just wanted to compare Antoc Merrick really quick to actually my custom of Antoc Merrick. Yes, I know I went a little bit vibrant with the blue, but there you go. This guy was kind of holding the place up until now. I might turn this into a different pilot. Maybe I'll just make this a pilot of myself, even though I'm much taller. I would have to be up here on him. It was me standing next to Luke. But yeah, so I don't know. Personally, I don't mind the reuse, I guess, too much. I do, if we do end up getting like a Porkins figure in the future, or any other X-Wing pilots, or even just pilots, A-Wing pilots, or anything like that in the future, which I hope we do get, I would prefer that they tool a new body. I mean, I think it's this body's been around since the beginning, 2013. I think it's about time we retire this body and we can tool a new one that's just a little bit taller, that we could, maybe would make a little bit more sense for other characters besides just Luke Skywalker, and let me just get him out of the way. We'll come back. We'll do Antoc Merrick last as far as articulation goes, range of motion. But as far as Galen's articulation, his head can swivel at a full 360 rotation. You have to hold that neck so it doesn't move. He can look up about that far without the neck moving, and he can look down about that far. He can also pivot side to side, and he can do a full 360 rotation if you need him to. Now with the neck, he can look down about that far. He can look up about that far. He can pivot side to side. And the neck can also swivel. So it's a little bit more of a natural look, I want to say, because sometimes your neck collar piece will move with your body. Arms go up about that far. They go down, full 360 rotation in the arm. A single bend at the elbow, swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. He's got a lateral hinge joint on this side and a lateral hinge joint on the other side. He can swivel at the waist right here. He can pop back a little bit, and can't really pop forward too much. It's a really tight joint. Can't really pivot side to side either. Excuse me. He can do the splits about that far, which is pretty good for a character that's never going to do the splits. Legs go forward, legs go back a little bit, upper thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees. And then he can point the toe. He can point the heel about that far. It is very hindered due to the cuff right here of the leg. But he also has ankle pivot, and he has 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So, I mean, I guess he doesn't really need too much articulation. He doesn't really have too much that needs to go on for this figure. I mean, he literally could have been a 5 POA figure, and you probably could have got the same aesthetic and everything. But, we got the Black Series here, so I'm happy to have the extra articulation and everything for him, even though he's probably just going to be a guy that just kind of, does one of these, stands around, and looks good doing it for the most part. As far as the likeness to Mads Mikkelsen, I believe it is Mikkelsen, I think. I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, if you get rid of that shine, I can definitely see him in the sculpt. I think it looks really good. We also do have the kind of Imperial engineer logo right there, which looks pretty cool. We do have some newer, I want to say this is a newer sculpted upper torso because of this neck piece right here. So, I mean, he actually got a little bit of love for the very minimalness that he comes with, which isn't really necessary that he comes with a lot of stuff either. So, but I think the head sculpt looks pretty good. I think the hair does look a bit flat, but, and flat meaning like he almost had like a helmet on or something like that. Kind of similar to what the Endor Luke looked like, but still, I want to say that this does look very nice indeed overall. I even like the little 5 o'clock shadow he's got going on here. Looks pretty good. So yeah, overall, I do enjoy the look of Galen Erso here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for him. And here are the stolen data plans. It's pretty much almost the same one that came with the Fleet Trooper, the Rebel Fleet Trooper. So now you have multiples of that. In case you lost one, you have an extra one with him. All right, bringing in Antoc Merrick here. As far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel at a full 360 rotation right there. His head is on a hinge joint because he's on that older 2013 body. His head can go up about that far. It can go down. My hinge joint was very, very tight. So I just wanted to kind of give you the heads up on that, but he can look down about that far. That's neutral. He can pivot side to side a little bit, so he's got a little bit of extra motion in there. Let's see if we got some jive turkeys. Some jive turkeys. Let's see if he's got some jive turkeys. Nah, it's not true jive turkeys, so I'm not going to count it. If you don't have the turkeys, I'm not giving you the turkeys. But he also has a little bit of gapping in the back of the head, and that's actually due to having those turkeys, getting those turkeys to move forward, and you have a little bit of extra room with the head. Arms go up at that far, down, full 360 rotation in the arm. No butterfly joint on him or Galen Merrick. He does have a single bend at the elbow, a swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. He has a lateral hinge joint on this side and a vertical hinge joint on the other side. So he's got that pistol hinge joint, which is good. He is extremely tight in the diaphragm joint. Extremely tight. I mean, there's almost no movement here. He can crunch forward like a little bit, just a little bit, and then back a little bit, more so back than forward. The legs, if you have this piece hiked up a little bit, they can do the splits about this far. I'm trying not to really go too crazy here with this. I'm trying to get the legs up. So that's about maxed out right there. And then the legs obviously can go forward, which you're probably going to get him into a seated pose if you're going to do something with like maybe like a custom X-Wing, or maybe if we do get an X-Wing, you will be able to seat him in there. He does have an upper thigh swivel, which is really tight jointed. Legs can also go back a little bit. He does have a double jointed knee. And he does have a boot swivel, just like X-Wing Luke. Points the toe. Pointy heel. And he does have 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And he does have ankle pivot. So there it is. He's got nice little shiny boots. Looks pretty cool. I do want to say right off the bat, I think the head is a little bit large for the body. Like I said, I feel like he should be on a larger body. That's kind of my main gripe for this guy. You could feel that the reuse is kind of not working with the size of his head. Size of his head is rather large. But like I said, here's the pistol, which I showed earlier. Same thing as X-Wing Luke. There we go with the helmet. It's got some scuff and some scrape marks on it. Looks pretty cool though. I like the individualism of each X-Wing pilot's helmet. Reminds me of Top Gun a little bit, you know, not gonna lie. Looking forward to the new Top Gun movie, Maverick, coming out hopefully this in a couple months actually. The stripe on him is a little bit crooked, not gonna lie, just pointing it out. But overall, I do like the paint scheme, color scheme with him, and it's definitely a lot better than my custom, I want to say, as far as paint and all that fun stuff. The head sculpt itself, like I said, I do like this head sculpt. I think it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy to have I guess I wouldn't say he's the most important character in the movie. He's seen for maybe about, I don't know, at the most, I want to say a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of screen time. He does kind of get the rest of the troops together and to form an assault on Scarif. So, I mean, I guess he's an important piece to that puzzle as far as getting that mission done. He does end up meeting his fate on the planet of Scarif. Both of these characters actually end up meeting their fate. They both end up dying in the movie, most like the majority of the cast in the movie. But, it's nice to get a little bit more of an obscure character. Maybe that's probably why both of these guys were, Target exclusives. They usually do like a little bit more exclusives when it comes to lesser known characters or less important characters. So I guess it makes sense for this. The thing I don't like about each of these, I want to say his feet are a hair small and can cause some like wobbling and I don't know, just stance issues. The helmet on him, I definitely don't like the fitment for this. It's like they didn't do their homework, and the helmet it's just stretching way too much when you're trying to get it on there. So I'm probably just going to have him hold his helmet then, and I'll probably have him standing on my shelf just like this. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a X-Wing pilot anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it for them. Let's just get into some size comparisons next. Okay, first round of size comparisons. We've got two Mezco action figures. We've got Atticus Doom on the right, and we've got the newer Nosferatu on the left. All right, next up, we've got two Motu figures. We've got Motu Classics Vicor on the right, and then we've got Man-at-Arms from the Motu Revelations line on the left. All right, next up, we've got two SH Figuarts action figures. We've got the Star Wars SH Figuarts Darth Maul on the right, and then on the left, we've got the Kamen Rider Black RX. Okay, next up on the right, we've got an Articulated Icons Ninja in the Martial Artist. And then on the left, we've got a NECA T800 from the Retro Terminator line. Okay, next up, we've got a DC Multiverse figure in the Three Jokers Red Hood on the right. And then on the left, we've got a Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Shocker action figure. Okay, next up, we've got a Soda Street Fighter Ken Masters on the right. And then on the left, we've got a G.I. Joe Classifieds Duke. Okay, and last up, we've got two Black Series action figures. We've got Admiral Akbar on the right, and on the left, we've got Wedge Antilles. Okay, and here is the rest of the heroes of Rogue One, and I think this really fits in nicely. This is a nice addition to the rest of the cast. Hopefully we get some more cast members. I wouldn't even mind getting some more obscure cast members that we maybe have been featured in the movie, not really had a big role. But some of the alien Rebel Troopers too would be nice, and even maybe just a Scarif Rebel Trooper would be a welcomed addition. The more Rebel Troopers, the better for me. But this is a nice addition to the cast, and pretty happy about seeing that we're getting more and more. I think we're getting Saw Gerrera in the future. So, and that's supposed to be off his Rogue One look, which is pretty cool. And this is kind of really good timing because these updated figures, which are right here, were just kind of starting to trickle out and be released. So it's actually, like I said, perfect timing for me. I was able to get the original cast first, and then being able to pick up these two. Now it fits in so nicely. Yeah, but there's the entire cast right there. Okay, so for my final thoughts on Antoc Merrick and Galen Erso, overall I would give these 2 thumbs up. These are, like I said, more obscure characters. Galen Erso is seen a lot more than Antoc Merrick in the film and has a impact on the main character as he's the father to Jen Erso, but I want to say, you know, for the most part, these aren't going to be flying off of shelves. So it makes sense that they're an exclusive. So I don't really have an issue with them being an exclusive. They were a little bit scarce in the beginning, but I would say don't let the FOMO get to you. These are starting to become more and more available, and even in stores. I've seen them in stores and some other people's posts and stuff like that. Like I said, I picked these up a little bit earlier, and yeah, if I had one gripe for each, like I said, the feet just seem a little bit small on Galen Erso. That's just my perspective. But across the board, I want to say, as far as Antoc Merrick goes, I just think he's entirely too short. He should be a little bit taller. I think he's at the least he should be about up to here. I think that just makes a little bit more sense for him. And the head does look a little bit large for the body because he's on that smaller X-Wing Luke body. The paint apps look really good on all of them. I like both face sculpts, and the face printing technology looks really good on them. I don't have any issues with articulation or range of motion or anything like that. Even with him being on a little bit of a dated body, I still like him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.